Good morning, it's September 30th. This is To My Liberal Friends. Well, here we are. It's at the end of the fiscal year. Today is the day. At midnight, it appears there'll be a partial government shutdown. I say partial because I listed yesterday the government never truly shuts down, and there are so many functions that are deemed essential that unless you're going to a national park, looking for a tour of the Capitol, or some other thing, you probably won't notice this shutdown. If the government's not truly shutting down, why are we undergoing this political theater with Republicans and Democrats refusing to find some form of compromise on a spending bill that ensures all the government is funded? You probably guessed it. It's politics, pure and simple. There's no real regard for regular order in the Senate, or the House for that matter. It's just how each party can try and gain some political advantage that means one or the other is having the power of the majority. And I say regular order because under normal process, there are 12 individual appropriations bills that Congress should be passing. Under regular order, these bills would be introduced in the Appropriate Committee, marked up, sent to the full Appropriations Committee, then to the floor of the House or Senate and voted on. But we no longer use this regular order process because the politicians in both parties seem to look for some nebulous reason not to vote for these bills that are put forth by whoever's in the majority. The result is we get to the end of the fiscal year and most of the bills have not been passed. That means Congress has to pass what's known as a continuing resolution that funds departments and agencies at the previous year's level. Then sometime before the Congress adjourns, they finally cobble all of these bills into one gigantic omnibus bill, pass it, and go home. Now, you think I'm kidding about the absence of regular order. Between fiscal year 1977 and fiscal year 2012, Congress only passed all 12 regular appropriations bills on time in 4 years. That was 77, 89, 95, and 97. Every other fiscal year since 1977 has required at least one continuing resolution. So what is the manufactured issue that Senate Democrats are hanging their hat on this time around? The House has already passed a continuing resolution. It's a clean bill. It's a health care issue, and specifically the extension of subsidies for many people purchasing their health care through Obamacare. If you haven't heard, cancer patients and children will die if Republicans don't extend pandemic area sweetened Obamacare subsidies in return for keeping the government open, or so the Democrats claim. But a report Thursday from the Bureau of Labor Statistics suggests many Americans receive the subsidies could get employer coverage. The annual BLS survey of employer-sponsored benefits shows that workers with access to these types of medical benefits rose to 74% this year, an increase from 71% in 2019. In other words, more employers are offering health care benefits to their workers. Yet curiously, the share of workers who participate in employer medical plans among those with access to them has fallen from 60 to 65% from 73%. You remember the Inflation Reduction Act's enhanced subsidies enable Americans who earn between 100% and 150% of the poverty line, $15,650 and $23,475 for an individual, to qualify for zero premium health coverage and reduced deductibles. Workers typically have to pay deductibles and 20% of their premiums in employer plans. No doubt, that's why they don't want them. Workers aren't supposed to receive Obamacare subsidies if they have access to affordable coverage through their employers, but this rule is barely enforced. The Biden team also deemed many employer-sponsored family plans not affordable as they work to get more Americans on government insurance. But the BLS report shows that many workers could get employer coverage if the enhanced subsidies lapse at the end of the year, which would save taxpayers hundreds of billions of dollars. Don't believe the Democrats' Obamacare scare. That's exactly what the Democrats fear would happen. If workers were forced to take the employer coverage, then the goal of a government-provided health care would diminish, and the hard left of the Democratic Party are hell-bent on forcing all of us to come under a single-payer system of health care. Letting the subsidies go away merely restores the original Obamacare premium support structure. That preserves access to subsidies for low-income populations who already comprise 93% of the 24 million who get health care insurance through the Obamacare exchanges. The expiration will affect roughly 1.6 million current enrollees. These are the people with incomes above 400% of the federal poverty level, which have been receiving subsidies that cap their premium contributions at 8.5% of income. A family of four in Arizona making $600,000, a married couple in West Virginia making $580,000, and a single individual in Vermont making $180,000 all qualify for subsidies. Does that sound like they need a subsidy? Well, getting back to the current stalemate in the Senate, the Republican leader John Thune has publicly said that he believes there are sufficient votes to extend these subsidies, and that will be addressed in the HHS appropriations bill. He He wants a clean CR for some period of time to allow the Congress to start passing these individual bills under, wait for it, regular order process. That's exactly what every American should be demanding of their representatives. Drop the political theater and do your job the way it was intended to be done. Stop making speeches full of hot air and nothing more than political pandering to groups within your party. And I'm talking to both parties. Start talking to each other and find solutions instead of threatening each other with some phony issue. If that's what you want done, then pick up the phone and call your House member and senator and tell them if they don't vote to keep the government open, then they've lost your vote. If they don't start passing the individual appropriations bills, then you can no longer vote for them. Nothing scares a politician more than the possibility of losing an election. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.